welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I'm sharing how to celebrate small wins in everyday life because they're often overlooked and they shouldn't be. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So we often achieve goals, big and small, and sure, we're on a productivity channel. That's what we talk about here. But I think often we over-focus in the productivity space and in general on big wins. And yes, big wins are impressive, okay? You got a new job, you graduated, you ran a marathon. Wow, that's amazing. But we forget the small wins. And when we forget the small wins, it's about kind of our hierarchy, like our sense of importance. And yes, obviously some achievements are bigger than others, but all wins are worth celebrating. And when we overlook the small wins, we kind of sabotage ourselves, because if we aren't celebrating milestones or small wins along the way, then we aren't necessarily breaking down our goals as best as we can, okay? And making sure to celebrate the small wins it keeps your motivation up, essentially, because when you're working at something and you have like small wins and you don't celebrate them, the journey towards your overall goal can feel extremely monotonous and it can feel really almost discouraging, demotivating. So celebrating your small wins is absolutely paramount to being successful at your big ones. So without further ado, let's talk about how to celebrate small wins. And the first one is to buy yourself small treats. Super easy. A bath bomb, a cupcake, flowers, okay? So, for example, I had a bunch of health goals last year and I had a list, a little table in my Google Drive, and for each of these like mini goals, I had a little reward. So for one of them, I had new lip gloss. And for one of them, I had pink roses, because I love pink roses. And for another one, I had, this like really nice shampoo that I wanted to get for some reason. And it wasn't that I couldn't buy myself those things in general, like I obviously could, but having those as like milestones to kind of pair them up with achieving these small wins made me so much more motivated. And obviously there's a lot of like reward to be gained from the intrinsic joy that you feel when achieving a small goal, but the idea that I was going to get pink roses when I achieved this health goal made me more motivated, and it just made me feel happier, and it was a good thing overall. Like, it was a win-win, so why not? Buy yourself small treats. Have a moment of recognition, okay? So what I mean by a moment of recognition is exactly the same as you would for a big goal, but just for a smaller goal. So for example, I went out to lunch with my family when I finished my finals, and okay, that might sound like a huge thing for my degree, and yes it was, but it was a smaller component of my overall stuff, right? So another component might be I handed in my thesis, or another component might be I passed second year. Okay, so like it was, or I graduated. So like all of these things were like components leading up towards the big, you've graduated, here's your degree goal. And yeah, obviously finishing my finals was huge, but you can do this for even smaller goals as well. Like you could, I don't know, you went and you tried out a new sport, for example, and that was really cool, and maybe it was outside of your comfort zone, so it would be completely valid to go to dinner after that. I also had a little family like takeaway night the first night I moved into my apartment to celebrate my new home, and I remember that very fondly. I actually didn't have any furniture, and so my dad brought round some garden chairs, and we all sat on garden chairs in my entirely empty living room, and we ate takeaway out of paper boxes, and it was honestly one of the most memorable dinners I've ever had, because it was just in my apartment and it was new space, my space, and my apartment keys were like in my pocket, and I had this nice warm dinner, and it was like my apartment was completely fucking empty, and it was one of the best dinners I've ever had. So have a moment of recognition, okay? And I'm aware that I just said small wins and then I gave you two rather big goals, but the point is this is like transferable to anything, okay? This is transferable to anything, and you shouldn't feel bad for like celebrating small things, like small things. Okay, like I said, you tried out something new, that's amazing. Go and get yourself like a nice dinner to celebrate, because sometimes small things can feel really big. Also, I want you to add your small wins to a list so they're not forgotten. Something I like to do is now I have a list of all my achievements, and that is because I suffer from chronically low self-esteem and tend to think that I've achieved nothing. So it's useful to have a reality check and have a document that I can look back on when I'm feeling low and actually think, oh, you know, I actually achieved something tangible. And that tends to stop me from going into a depressive, oh no, I've achieved nothing spiral. Anyway, if you have low self-esteem, I recommend this. But moving on, I like to add bullet points under each of those achievements for like smaller milestone goals that I achieved along the way for each of those achievements. So yeah, I'll have like the big like flagship achievement, the big milestone on my list, but also underneath that I'll have in bullet points the smaller steps that felt like really meaningful milestones along the way to get there. And that's really helped me appreciate the smaller steps that I took to reach the larger goal overall. So add them to a list so they are not forgotten. Another thing you can do is bring them up to your friends and celebrate their wins as well. One thing that I absolutely love is when one of my friends will text me randomly and share one of their small wins with me. And it might be something as simple as, like, I don't know, I went out and I bought flowers for myself today because I was feeling down. And honestly, I'm so proud of them for like taking care of their mental health and treating themselves with the care and respect and like the special person that they are, like they deserve in that moment, right? So they'll text me and they'll tell me about something small that they did and I'll be like, hell yeah, good for you. And you can do the same, okay? Like bring up your small achievements to your friends. It's not pathetic, it's actually so special. And every time that one of my friends shares that kind of moment with me, I'm so proud of them. And like, I'm really honored that they would take the time to just tell me about their day. Like, I love hearing about my friends, like small wins. I love hearing about their big wins. I love it like overall, okay? And so you can just tell your friends about your small wins. Like, no win is too small. If they are really your friends, they will be happy for you, they will be proud for you, they will celebrate with you, okay? And I genuinely, like, whenever one of my friends like posts something even like really small on their story, genuinely I will send them a congratulatory text, and they often do the same for me because it's just great, okay? We should find joy in life wherever we can, and we should celebrate our friends' wins like in life wherever we can. Like every small win is an opportunity for a moment of joy, and you should embrace that to the like fullest extent possible. And finally, allow yourself to feel proud. I know this entire video has been me trying to impress upon you that small wins matter, but small wins matter, okay? Every achievement is worth celebrating. It doesn't matter how small, okay? And you should be proud. I'll give you an example from my own life as well. Like, for those of you who don't know, I have chronic depression, and it is not very fun because it is a chronic mental illness. So I went through a really long phase. Now this is a bit gross, sorry, but I went through a really long phase of not washing my face. Now I'm not going to specify how long because I don't want to, but it was long, okay? And I remember the first time that I washed my face after this depressive episode, and it was such a small thing, and you might be sitting there thinking, oh, why are you celebrating that? Like, it's something that people do every day. It wasn't. Okay, and I just come out of a depressive episode, and it was actually a really big win for me, mental health wise. So yeah, that's the slightly less glamorous side of this, but small wins matter, okay? There is no win that is too small, and the more that you celebrate your small wins, and the more that you understand that they matter, and the more that you treat them like they matter, the more that you will understand that you matter, and everything that you do, every little bit of effort that you put into becoming a better person, to making your life better, to making the world around you better, that matters. It matters so fucking much, okay? Genuinely, it does. And once you start celebrating your small wins and allowing yourself to feel proud, you will start achieving more, and you will start feeling better, and you will just, like, your mental health will improve. I swear, I promise, okay? Just try it. Celebrate your small wins because they matter. Your effort matters. Your effort is seen and appreciated, and you matter. That's all for this video. I hope you go and celebrate your small wins. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.